obviously there's quite a few people that know and are familiar with your music, but how would you describe your music to somebody who hadn't heard you before, who was maybe looking for somebody new to give a listen to?
I get a lot of comparisons to R.E.M. still.
Right.
And I think that's a fair...
Are you comfortable with that? Do you accept that?
Kind of. I mean, R.E.M., it's totally different from what I do. I mean, they were the quintessential American indie Southern band, you know, and it works because I don't know why. It's just four guys really a band together, and I'm not a band. And I think the thing that people hear, they did an album called Automatic for the People.
Right.
It was very acoustic and very driven, and I sound kind of like that record. So, in fact, that's my favorite album of all time, too. So I would tell people I sound kind of like a one-man version of R.E.M. in the mid-'90s period. It's kind of, and I've gone heavier. I've done rock projects where I end up sounding like a heavier version of that.
Yes.
I've done stripped-down projects where I sound like a lighter version of that, but that's about what you could expect.
I was going to say, it seems to me that music has evolved in a way that it's more and more difficult to put somebody in a box or set them in a genre, because all musicians out there seem to be kind of experimenting with flavors and styles. Would you say that's true? I mean, it seems like artists at one point, maybe because they were influenced by record companies, were kind of honed down to this one kind of song or feel or image. But now people seem to be a lot freer to just spread it all out.
Yeah, I think that technology has made it possible for an artist like me or anybody to just experiment with different kinds of sounds at relatively no additional cost. It doesn't cost much more to get a synthesizer sounding really cool in the studio, whereas before, if you didn't have the guy maintaining the tubes on it, you weren't going to use it, you know.
But also it seems more accepted that you could be an Americana guy playing a song, and you could say, I want a synthesizer in here, and you can put it in, and people are like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
Whereas a few years ago, then you would have been a 70s band or something, and they wouldn't really accept that as easily.
Right. There's a lot of the indie artists I can think of. The records are these, they're all over the place. You'll be coming along, and all of a sudden there's a pedal steel break.
Yes.
And it's cool because you can do that.
Yeah.
But
so you couldn't put yourself in a genre then, could you?
I don't think I would. I mean, I tend to have an acoustic guitar on all of my records. There isn't one where that's not there, and it's that one. So I'd like to get another one, but anyway, that's the one I have, and I'm really grateful for it.
Right.
But that one tends to show up on all the records. That's sort of home based for
the anchor.
Yeah, but you could put a lot of things with acoustic guitar.
Sure can.
You could put a piano. You could put just a bass. You could put anything. So.
Yeah. Is there any one piece of advice you would have for anybody who's wanting to get up and be a musician in the morning?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No. I'd say this goes for anything. The only thing, I don't even know how this saying goes. I'm kind of embarrassed, but be yourself.
Well, that was going to lead into a question I had for you. Is there I don't want to use the word slogan, but is there a mantra, or is there something that you apply every day in your life that you would also tell somebody else?
Keep it simple.
Really?
Yeah. I think simple ideas are not simplistic, but keep things simple. They can be very effective. And keep the song simple. Keep the production simple. It doesn't mean it be insulting with it and just have 2 chords or something, but simple ideas are often the better ones.
Would that kind of go across the board in your life as well?
I think so.
Very good. What is maybe one little thing that most people might not know about you that you could share with us?
One time I almost gave it all up to be a fitness trainer.
Okay, this is interesting. Carry on with this.
And I just realized that I wasn't being true to myself, and so I quit that. But I think a close second to that would be that I love cooking. It's my
Yeah.
a real passion of mine. It is,
I just discovered that, actually, because I was reading a little bit about one of your Kickstarter programs.
okay, yeah.
And that was a perk, wasn't it?
One of the prizes I offer is if you pledge a certain amount, I'll come to your house and cook dinner for you and up to 4 friends.
Yeah.
So have a little get-together. But there's something very relaxing about chopping garlic and vegetables and organic, and I love cooking for my family, and I just love it when they like what I cook for them.
Is it a kind of Zen
It is.
thing for you?
It's sort of my end of the day meditation, where I just sit and I usually listen to some jazz music, which is a genre I don't play much in, and just kind of be.
Cool.
So
Yeah. Well, I didn't know this about you, so that's very interesting. Tell people maybe what kind of gigs you have coming up, or how we can find you. Anything that you want to share with us about even your studio here, which is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Well, this studio is, we're on the web at 2egrets.com. It's TWO and then egrets, like the bird, EGRETS.com. We do all kinds of work here, but usually we work with singer-songwriters. And it's a lot of fun. I'm the head engineer, too, so you'll get to work with me if you book a session here. And my personal music is located at MikeGarrigan.com, which I think you could figure out how to spell. But yeah, it's MikeGarrigan.com. I'm on Facebook, and my Twitter handle is actually interesting. A lot of people give me grief about it because I don't use my own name, but I didn't realize what Twitter was when I signed up. It's Jim Steele 1138, and that comes from Catcher in the Rye and George Lucas's student film THX 1138.
Okay.
That's probably my only regret in life.
For all you Twitter fans out there,
is not putting my name as my Twitter handle. But anyway, I'm stuck with it. So, what else?
Do you have any gigs?
Oh yeah,
coming
gigs.
up?
I have 4 gigs coming up in Greensboro on the 14th at the Green Bean. That's in September.
Uh-huh.
And then the next night will be in Charlotte at the Evening Muse, and I'll be with my friend Mark Cano. We'll be doing some of our normal songs that we do together. And then I have 2 solo gigs coming up, one in October in Durham at the Broad Street Cafe on the 26th, and then the next week in Raleigh at Deep South.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to be
So you're staying pretty busy with the live performances,
I like to play in the fall. Like I mentioned, I do a record a year. The record usually comes out in October, and I go out and play a couple gigs and support it. And the gigs generally stick to whatever that album is and whatever instrumentation that is. And then I put those songs away and start over. So to the new year. So.
Well, it's been a lot of fun spending time with you today. Appreciate your time here in your studio, and we'll be back next month. We don't know who it's going to be yet, but stay tuned.